such things. They're not concerned with that. They need you to know that they can dress their ass off, and you better find value in them for that. And then there's the stylish girls, the girls who don't need a label to look amazing, you know? And so I still struggle with the fact that, like, so many of us need to, like, what's going to happen to us when we are, you know, like, when we're looking back at this time, what are we going to say about us? You know, like, I know niggas who are doing a lot of strange things for change just to wear a pair of Amarys. You know, I know a lot of women who are suffering themselves just to get a bag, you know, just to be able to put on social media that they're traveling or that they are, like, I'm sorry. I think we've lived with Corona for so long that for many of us, the detriment of the panorama is lost on us. We have traveled at this point. We have partied. We've worn matching outfits with our besties. We've done all kind of crazy shit. We don't care about no panorama because we don't know nobody that died from it. Won't know nobody that got it. The chances are in 2021 is that you probably will know someone who has it. If not you, look to your left and look to your right. One of these motherfuckers. Okay? So all I'm saying is I still am gobsmacked by the things in which we find our validity in. You know, like, and I'm probably waxing poetic about this, but it is only because I am just noticing recently that, you know, I have worked in retail and fashion for over 20 years at this point, right? I love fashion. I love the construct. I love the stories. I love the business of. I love the colors. I love the fabrics. I love the production. I love every bit. I love the histrionics. I love the background and the foreground. I love all of it. Every medium that surrounds fashion, television, publication. I love it all. And so I follow the news of fashion, and it is hard for me to also follow the news of pop culture as it pertains to people by and large, but specifically people that I look like. So while I love the Prada utility boot, I can't forget that Prada had blackface dolls just a couple of months ago and really didn't say shit about it. I love that stuff, but I'm torn still, you know? I'm torn because Gucci, you know, I've heard about your program for people who look like myself to be able to start designing and making a name and, you know, really getting into the collaborative force and designing efforts behind the fashion house of Gucci. However, I have not really seen much. I haven't really seen much in the collaborative effort part. Nope. Shout out to Target, because don't know if you know this, but Target has recently just launched a line that they are doing for Black History Month. Part of the line is from different vendors, which includes a brand called Well Worn, and also includes designers from HBCUs who took part in a contest to design some shirts. And there were a couple of winners, I believe, and you can see this in your local Target store. There should be like a little outpost there. And the outpost was really cool because it had a kids Black History Month section adjacent to an adult. The kids had like Black books and Black T-shirts and yada, yada, yada. And a portion of the proceeds go to fund HBCUs. And they also talked about some of the student winners of the contest. The shirts range from $6 to about $25, from kids T-shirts to adult T-shirts and hoodies. So, I copped me some because I thought it was really cool and I wanted to support something that gave directly back to our community, as well as the fact that it was affordable, which during these times, you have to appreciate Black designers and Black creatives that are making their work available to the masses. While they could be chasing bigger profits, they are more concerned with how many people get to have access to their stuff, which... Ooh, child, let's not even talk about access. You know what? Let's talk about access. So in a story that came out this week about the Black Eyed Peas, first of all, everybody, no one can deny that the Black Eyed Peas was a really huge group, okay? Keep running. Like, they're a huge group. Like, I don't give a fuck how hardcore you are. You know some Black Eyed Peas songs, like you just know. Anyways, so the group's founder, I.Am, he is feeling a kind of way, the same way that Drake feels, because he is counted out he believes that the group was counted out in spaces that mean the most. So I.Am spoke to Wyclef Jean on the Run That Back, which I'm not sure, I guess that's a podcast. But he spoke to him about how he feels disappointed with them not being celebrated as a Black group, despite the fact that they had reached huge levels of success. I.Am said in 2004, Black Eyed Peas, we were just trying to get on. When you think of, like, I'm a Black dude, but when you think of Black Eyed Peas, we got so big and it still hurts a little bit that we're not considered a Black group because we got that big. He continued and said, and when you think of Black Eyed Peas, you don't think of it's no longer urban or Black culture, which is, it's not good for the Black community that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a Black group. All right. Now, the reason why I brought that up, and then also, on the juxtaposition, because I've never heard it argued this way from Drake. So I think it's two different situations. But I think it's interesting to hear the Black Eyed Peas, or to hear I.Am say that he is disappointed in the group's stand in terms of where the Black community kind of iconicizes them, because they were a very successful group, but not seen as a very successful Black group, which on the other hand, dig this, Color Me Bad, one Black man in the group. They are seen as a Black group. You know what I'm saying? Color Me Bad. They had one fucking album. I Adore Me More ain't even a Black song, okay? I Wanna Sex You Up is pretty much the only song we know by Color Me Bad. And they're seen as a black group. They were played on black radio all the time. They only had one black member who, for the most part, had extensions and barely sang any lead. Black Eyed Peas, the majority of the group is either black or brown, with the exception of young Fergie Ferg, who I will pay you $1 million if you tell me who was in the Black Eyed Peas before young Fergie Ferguson. Now, I remember she was in that group Wild Orchid. Bitch, come on, get into your histories, bitch. Get into your Googles, bitch. Yes, remember when Fergie used to be in Wild Orchid? Wild Orchid was a very big Mickey Mouse Club group. You don't know Mickey Mouse Club either? Bitch, were you born in the 90s? Oh, I hate your life. Oh my God, it's so stupid. How old were you in the 90s? Were you still like feti? Because, bitch, I was like almost 20. Like, fuck yourself. Okay, anyway, so listen, right? So let's just say this, right? I think that in many spaces where you are one of the only black people, you are meant to feel this level of exclusivity, like, oh, okay, so in many spaces where you're the only black person who's wearing a Mary jeans and a Dior shirt and Prada sneakers with, a $5,000 bag. Now, I'm not coming down on you, but when you're in that space, are you consciously aware of all your labels that you're wearing, or are you just existing in the space? Tell the truth. Tell the truth now. Because if the labels are what you're conscious of in that moment, and that is supposed to, provide a level of exclusivity for you amongst all these people who cannot do that, big fish, small pond, because that always is the other thing for me. I find it funny, we're going to get back to the Black Eyed Peas in a moment, but I find it funny that people who present, in a very loud way, and loud has nothing to do with labels. It's just a frequency that a person gives off. You know what I mean? And sometimes those people love labels, but jiggy niggas tend to be like that. You know what I mean? Jiggy niggas who find a lot of validity in their labels tend to very much move like that. And they don't understand why people's energy towards them feels very combative, but it is because the energy that you're leading with these labels is one that says, hey, I love being amongst, you guys, and having my labels really just be the star of the show. Love that. And, I find my confidence and my validity as a person in these labels. Okay. So yes, there is a level of exclusivity that we like to operate under. And I feel like when the Black Eyed Peas was at the height of their fame, they weren't targeting the black community. And that has nothing to do with the type of music that they were making. That has everything to do with the type of crowds that they were serving. So the reason why you're not beloved at this point by black crowds is it's not about the benefit that you did or whatever the fuck it is. The circles that you moved in, the places that you were revered in those places because you showed reverence in those places. You're not revered in the black community because there wasn't a reverence there to us. Like you wasn't serving us. And see, here's the thing about the black community. Here's the thing about the jiggy nigga versus the fashion nigga. Here's the thing. The loyalty, the allegiance to the love of, black people, when we support an art, a creative, we will support that creative until they truly just do something that besmudges their entire profile, and we just have no choice but to let it go. And even then, there'll still be a few niggas hanging on.